How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy and some of the issues that arose when the pre-orders went live. Pre-orders for Hogwarts Legacy went live on August 25th, with the standard game coming in at $59.99, the deluxe edition coming in at $69.99, and the collector's edition coming in at a whopping $300. The pre-order launch immediately caused some confusion among those interested in the game, and the developers took to Twitter to make it more confusing and make everything worse. So I'm going to pull up their tweets here. We're going to take a look at them, and then I'm going to go through what is wrong with what they said and kind of really point out where I think some things need to change. So we'll look over here at the tweet that they posted. And for me, I didn't actually realize there were any issues or confusions at first when I looked at it. But apparently there were. And so they took to Twitter and said, "We're aware of the confusion that has sparked following the rollout of pre-orders, and we acknowledge and apologize for the frustration caused in our community. The team hears you, and we'd like to provide some clarity on questions that have come up." They go on to say, regarding the collector's edition availability, collector's editions are going live with our retailers on a rolling basis, and links are updated on hogwartslegacy.com as we receive them. That's not unusual. That tends to happen when it comes to these kind of things, especially with collector's editions, because they are physical items, and the physical items have to go into retailers and then be shipped out and all of that. It's a lot of partnership and logistics stuff. That one's not that big of a deal to me. However, for clarity, pre-order of the PS4 and PS5 editions, Standard, Deluxe, Digital Deluxe, and Collectors, will come with the Felix Felicis potion recipe. All PlayStation editions will come with the exclusive quest. No pre-order is required to obtain it. More information around Sony exclusives is coming soon. That's where I first start to have problems. One user on Twitter specifically asked, is the Felix Felicis potion only a limited time exclusive, or will people on other platforms ever be able to unlock it? They responded, the Felix Felicis potion is exclusive to pre-orders of any edition of Hogwarts Legacy on PS4 and PS5. To me, this was a really snarky and condescending response to that question, and really exemplifies the issue here. Pre-orders of the PS4 and PS5 editions get the Felix Felicis potion recipe. PlayStation editions, PS4 and PS5, get the exclusive quest. So in other words, if you don't have a PlayStation, you lose a quest. You don't get one of the quests that's part of the game. You also don't get a fan favorite item, the Felix Felicis potion. Anybody who's been a Hogwarts fan knows about Liquid Luck. They, are going to want that in game because it's part of the game. And for that to be exclusive to PlayStation, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But let's go through the tweets here again, just kind of finish up with what they put out there, and then I'll come back and touch on some of those points. Regarding some confusion around the Dark Arts pack and potential microtransactions, there are no microtransactions in Hogwarts Legacy, is what they've tweeted. Players with the Standard Edition will be given the option to purchase the Dark Arts pack in-game separately at launch if they would like to upgrade. There are no other items for purchase in-game. First off, no microtransactions and a DLC microtransaction. Those kind of counteract each other, just saying. But you are able to get the Dark Arts pack in-game separately at launch as a DLC microtransaction. Wizarding World account or Warner Brothers Games account is not required to play Hogwarts Legacy. I would not have had a problem if it was required, and I'm kind of surprised if anybody really would. But the thing with that is good. It's nice that you can just jump right into the game and you don't have to set up other things. So that portion is one of the few things on this list of tweets that I actually like. It's nice that you don't have to go through an extra step, but if you did have to go through an extra step, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal because you'd do it once and you'd be locked in. So I don't know what the story is with that. But they follow up here and finish off with, again, we'd like to reiterate that we understand the frustrations around the experience for the community yesterday. Thank you for your continued excitement and passion for Hogwarts Legacy. So one thing I wanted to do here is define microtransaction. Microtransaction is defined as a very small financial transaction conducted online. Therefore, DLC is a microtransaction. So you can't say you're going to have no microtransactions and then have a DLC that you buy online for a small amount of money, because then that is a microtransaction by definition. So apparently there is a microtransaction. Additionally, why is that a problem? Microtransactions are just in games. They make things more exciting, more interesting. You get new skins, you get new gear, you get, DLC. There's not a problem with microtransactions existing. Pay to win items, things like that, but cosmetic things that you can purchase for your character is completely normal, and there's really nothing wrong with that at all. So why make a big deal out of no microtransactions, especially while then also having at least one microtransaction obviously stated and placed within the game? That doesn't make sense to me. But honestly, that's not even the biggest issue. That just kind of ties in with the overall issues of these tweets. The biggest one for me is that Sony exclusivity. So you already have a crowd of individuals reportedly planning to boycott the game due to their disagreements with things that J.K. Rowling said in the past. Now you have fans of the series that are able to focus on the story and the magic of the world that Rowling created being alienated by this exclusivity. Exclusivity for a core portion of the game, an entire quest, and a fan favorite item that is not able to be obtained by Xbox, PC, or Switch players is absurd and unacceptable. Early access exclusivity is something we can deal with. It's nothing new. We've had it for a while. Tons of games do early access exclusivity. Cosmetic items is another thing that's perfectly fine to have exclusive. If you want to have a color combo robe that matches the original PlayStation or something, available only to PlayStation players, okay, that's fine. I can accept that. But to take away a portion of the game, an entire quest, maybe this quest is dumb, I don't know, but what we have available to us as information is that there is a quest from the game that you cannot play if you play on Xbox, if you play on PC, if you play on a Nintendo Switch. So I'm a PC player. I don't have either of the new consoles because my one system is a PC. Most gamers have one system. So to alienate a large number of your potential players by saying you can only play the full game if you pay $500 for a brand new console that you don't have and otherwise wouldn't have or need, it's shameful and unethical. And that needs to be dealt with. It's just not acceptable to have something like that taking place. And I really want to see this fixed. I don't care what kind of contract is already in place. I don't care what kind of promises have been made. This exclusivity nonsense needs to be changed now. I would prefer that it was thrown out completely, but at minimum, the quest and the Felix Felicis potion recipe need to be made available for all players on all platforms. Hogwarts Legacy was my most anticipated game, and a game I was truly hoping would be a strong contender for Game of the Year. But until I see these changes made, I'm hanging on to the money I set aside for my pre-order. I intended to get the deluxe edition. I considered the collector's edition briefly, but I just didn't feel like it had enough for me to really want to go for it. But I was going to get the deluxe edition, and I had it all planned out. I was ready to go. I was going to do the pre-order, and then all this stuff came out, and I was like, I'm going to just hold off because it's not coming out until February of next year anyway, so I've got time. And that's the other thing is, yeah, I'm unhappy with this, but there's time. There's time for it to be fixed. There's time for new announcements to come out. There's time for the contracts to be rewritten. Warner Brothers, Portkey, Avalanche, whoever it is that's actually in charge of this portion of it, you've got time to fix this. So please do. It's not acceptable to have aspects of the game just unavailable to the majority of your player base. Because if you look at it, PC, Xbox, and Switch, and then PlayStation. Can you count? I mean, come on. So it's simple math there. And, you know, I don't know what kind of financial aspects Sony's thrown into this. Obviously, that is a relevant portion of the math to it as well. But when you're alienating your player base and you're alienating fans of the series, you're doing something wrong and it needs to be fixed. I'm not stoked about having to make this video, but it had to be said. So anybody who's watching that has similar opinions or opinions at all, please post your comments below in the comment section. The more traction this topic gets and the more people that share their frustration in comments here and on Twitter, the more likely it is to actually make a difference. And along with that, please share the video with other people that you think are going to benefit from this information or that just kind of might have their own opinions that they can then add to this as well. I really do want to make a difference. I really want this to be something where everybody is able to play this game in its full capacity and enjoy this amazing magical world equally. And I think that that's not too much to ask. I think that fairness, balance, I think that's a pretty easy thing to ask. So I really hope that this gets sorted. And I'll definitely be posting follow-up videos as new information comes out for this. So definitely hit the subscribe button as well. And if you like this video, please drop a like on it because it does actually really help out a lot. So hopefully we can get this resolved. And the next update will be being excited and happy to show you what they're going to be doing to take care of things. Until next time, thanks for watching.